Alright, here's Margie. So, pretty good extension with both arms reaching forward. You are reaching a little towards the middle or crossing over slightly, so that's going to cause a little bit of turbulence in your stroke, or your hips are going to shift back and forth slightly. Hips and legs are riding high in the water, so that's good. And there's some extra head motion, so you're kind of going down and then up as you turn to breathe. You see how your head just went all the way underwater and then came back up. So you want to keep your head as even as possible. That's going to help with your streamline. And then from this angle, you try and look at rotation. So what you could be doing here is when you reach forward, really you push that side down a bit so that shoulder is really leading the stroke, and that'll turn you a little more on your side as you extend forward. That's a streamline issue. That means that you'd be slightly more hydrodynamic with each stroke. You can see how your right arm comes pretty far in front of your head. That's going to cause your torso to shift back and forth, like you can see there. So that's another streamline issue. So you want your hands to go right in front of your shoulder, but not in front of your head. Okay, so for underwater, essentially you have a straight arm style of swimming. So what that means is that you're not getting a high elbow catch, or your hand and forearm are not angling down early in the stroke. A straight arm is like the second best way to pull, but what happens is that first third of the stroke you're really just kind of pushing water down, and if you can get a high elbow catch or early vertical forearm, meaning your hand and forearm pivot downward so that they're perpendicular to the bottom of the pool, you'll get more traction, and that means more power moving you forward. Your kick does look pretty good. That's a good thing. And kicking is something you want to work on separately. You know, use a kickboard just so that you're doing the right motions, but that seems pretty good, the kick there. One thing I noticed on some of your strokes is that once you're past the halfway point with the pull, your hand starts to turn inward or turns towards your body. So when you do that, you again, you give up some grip or some traction on the water. And then here, just see where your hands are reaching into. So if you could just get your hands to go a little more off the side each time, that's going to be good. So looking at your right arm, sort of reach in and see how your torso is sort of flat relative to the bottom of the pool. You really want to turn on your side there. So if you could turn a little more as you reach forward, that's going to help. And then you start your pull. See the angle of your hand and forearm are still kind of parallel to the bottom of the pool here. So it's not until you get later in the stroke, in this next frame, that your hand is really straight up and down relative to the bottom of the pool, and that's where you get most of your traction. So if you can do some work on that front part of your stroke, you're going to get a lot more power out of that. And then look at your hand as you finish the stroke. It's turned in towards your body, meaning it's not pushing water back anymore. It's just kind of slipping through the water. And left arm here, good extension. You got a little more turn to your side on this side. That's what you want to see. It looks like you may be breathing. That could be part of it, but that's how much you want to turn, if not more. And then the upper arm and forearm are essentially one line. So that's a straight arm as well. So both hands or both arms do a lot of one arm drilling. That's going to be number one for you. Maybe some fist drill, doggy paddle drill, and remember the catch starts at the shoulder, rotating the shoulder internally. Hope that helps.